Jebs, reach, who's king? Southpool, switch, lead, hook, chimping. Scorecards, rematch, who got rubbed fast? All on the B&D Podcast. It's the B&D Podcast. Big clash, rounds, belts, big gas, lock it. The B&D Podcast. It's the B&D Podcast. Big clash, rounds, belts, big gas, lock it. The B&D Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the B&D Podcast with your hosts, Base the Kid and Danny Glover. Danny, how you feeling, man?
No, I'm feeling good, man. Well, I had a tiring day at work. I kind of got ambushed, had to do a bag of interviews for some people who've been out of work for a bit. So, yeah, that was an eventful day. But other than that, I'm feeling good. I had a good weekend, man. And yourself?
Yeah, man, it's been lively still. I mean, I also had it wasn't so much a tiring day, but it was a lack of sleep in the morning caught up to me a little while ago, so had to get that little power nap in. But I'm suitably rested, well nourished. Also, we can do proceedings properly today on this glorious episode 10 of the B&D Podcast. Now, to anyone in the chat, just before we start, apologies. There was a guest that I wanted to bring on today. Unfortunately, they're unavailable to do the live shows in the week at the moment. So we're gonna set something up whereby we can speak to them in the we can maybe do a pre-record with one of them, like as a special episode, and sort of get that on the agenda. But more people, more guests will be lined up in the near future for that. So I just wanted to put that out there. Right. So, Danny, quick question. Would you like to do sort of the weekend as a whole, like we normally do to start off with? Mm-hmm. Or do we go to the trial of the commentary? Where do we start? Where do you think the people want to start today?
The people are going to enjoy the trial more, I believe, because I'm sure they've seen multiple people talk about the actual weekend of fights. So I think, let's start at the trial.
Okay, cool. All right, so got two bits of evidence here, right? I've managed to do a recording of the actual the first round of the fight. If we get the if it gets demonetized, so be it. It's fine. It's not really a problem. Neither of us are making any money off of the stream like that anyway, so we can do that. And then we can go to obviously where the controversy was, which was your commentary or lack thereof. Or would you like to set the commentary first to set the scene for the round afterwards? How do you want to play it? I'm gonna let you choose. This is you here.
What's this? You're telling me how to dig my own.
Supposedly you're innocent. So
I am innocent. I think I did a sterling job.
From the third round on, I agree.
No, I think the first round, I just didn't see what you saw. Maybe one combination, but all right. Let's. So what was the two options?
So the option is we can either watch the footage of the action first, then your commentary, or we can watch your commentary, then the action.
Well, watch the action first.
Okay,
let's see what happened.
Right. So so share media. Here we go.
First three-division champion, 168,
175,
right, so 200. History hangs in the balance. This is the first championship clash between fighters of Mexican descent above 168 pounds.
I didn't have time to sync it up, otherwise I would have put both of them on side by side.
And this is the second southpaw that Benavidez is facing in his last three fights, beating David Morrell. He's third in his last five. He beat Demetrius Andrade, and those guys are smaller than Ramirez, and when Ramirez has the height and the reach advantage, he can exploit it to the fullest.
Indeed, and Benavidez looks the part in this first fight at cruiserweight. What we need to find out early is, are his chin and power cruiserweight worthy against such a durable opponent?
And fans are hoping that Benavidez versus Ramirez joins the likes of Evander Holyfield, Dwight Muhammad, Kawi One, James Toney, Vasily Jurov, Alexander Usyk, Miras Bradis. I mean, there have been so many cruiserweight classics, and this one has all the hallmarks of another. And by the way, of all the 175-pound champions to win a cruiserweight title, Zolt Erdai is the only one to win it in his first fight at the weight. And he weighed only 178 3/4 pounds when he beat Jacobe Fragomeni.
And this is the rhythm, the pace that you want to keep it if you're Silvio Benavidez. And though right there, Benavidez landed the right hand. Well timed right hand.
Benavidez came in well under 200 pounds, Brian.
He did, retaining that quickness. See if he can exploit that in this matchup. He mentioned...
sharp jabs by Benavidez.
He always mentioned the speed difference he thought would be a major advantage against Zerda.
Let me pause that. So I'm trying to move this into the... grab that. There we go. That's better. Let's bring it back a little bit.
And this is the rhythm, the pace that you want to keep it if you're Silvio Benavidez. And though right there, Benavidez landed the right hand. Well timed right hand.
Benavidez came in well under 200 pounds, Brian.
He did, retaining that quickness. See if he can exploit that in this matchup. He mentioned...
sharp jabs by Benavidez.
He always mentioned the speed difference he thought would be a major advantage against Zerda.
Yeah, speed is power right now. Benavidez showing that quick jab.
He's showing the speed advantage, landing the jabs effectively. Ramirez, very good at turning opponents, very good at using footwork, wants to establish the jab, unable to do so in the early stages of the round.
In the center of the ring, Ramirez, bigger guy, yes, but the speed, the power.
The right hand backs Ramirez off by Benavidez.
That's the first test here of whether Benavidez can bring this power up to cruiserweight.
But so far, every punch that Benavidez has thrown has landed.
Ramirez has been down once in his career against Samuel Miller back in 2011. Ramirez rallied to stop Miller in round 4. He has not been knocked down in nearly 15 years.
2011, a lifetime ago in terms of the career of Gilberto Ramirez.
And Benavidez has been down twice in his career, undefeated, however, and lands a straight right hand, another right hand followed by the left. Ramirez going to the body.
Get the machine gun fire
Which would be
in 10 seconds.
Oh, but look at the hand speed of David Benavidez. Like the fast forward.
Okay, so let's go back to where we was at. So that's first one there. Right, so I'm giving you the opportunity to. Would you say that there was some suitable shots landed there by Zerdo?
Nothing of real significance. As I said, it looked like to me he was taking a look in the first round, similar to what he was doing in the Chris Billam-Smith fight, where he probably got punched up even worse in the first round against Billam-Smith, to be fair. But then in the second round, he just turned the fight on his head and just dominated from there on. This one, he didn't land anything of significance, in my opinion. Let us guys know in the chat, did you see anything of significance landed by Zerdo Ramirez in that first round?
Yeah, please let us know in the chat, because I saw several nice body shots. I saw 3 headshots that made Benavidez have to sort of jump back and disengage. I saw a nice sweeping right hook to just about 30 seconds before the end of the round. Obviously, David won the round, won it clearly. There's no disputing that. So we're not disputing who won the round. What we're disputing is, did Zerdo Ramirez have any significant landed strikes that should have been called when doing the commentary?
And was
there? And
also there was, what did you say? There was a big 3-piece. I remember that was what
you
said.
The 3-piece was there. You can't tell me you didn't see it.
A big 3-piece.
Yeah. He landed. He went to the head first, then he went to the body twice straight afterwards. It was after that big right hand that Zerdo landed, that Benavidez landed, that pushed him back. And we can go back if you'd like.
I saw what happened after, and that was not a big free piece. It didn't look like it did anything. I don't know if it was like
Benavidez rocked back on his heels off of it.
I don't know about all that.
I mean, do we want to play it again?
Yeah, well, let's play it again.
All right, let's play it again. And I saw
what
some
section it was?
Aaron Daly in the chat said he saw body shots, some headshots there. So, all right, so it's going to bring it back into the scene.
Three-division
to write home
champion,
about the Aaron
168,
Daly.
175, 200. History hangs in the balance. This is the first championship clash, but only 178.
Into the right hand. Well timed, right hand.
Benavidez came in well under 200 pounds, Brian.
He did, retaining that quickness. See if he can exploit that in this matchup. He mentioned...
Sharp jabs by Benavidez.
He always mentioned the speed difference he thought would be a major advantage against Zerdo.
Yeah, speed is power. Right now, Benavidez showing that quick jab.
Oh, he's showing the speed advantage, landing the jabs effectively. Ramirez, very good at turning opponents, very good at using footwork, wants to establish the jab, unable to do so in the early stages of the round.
In the center of the ring, Ramirez, bigger guy, yes, but the speed, the power.
Solid right hand, backs Ramirez off by Benavidez.
Right, so right there. So did we not pop the head back with a left, and then two big body shots after that, straight after the
body shots? Listen, the left hand was like more of a touching left hand. He didn't even turn his hip properly on it. That's not big shots, Baze. Come on. I know what big shots look like. Was that big shots, guys? Come on.
People in the chat, let me ask you this. Would you say that those shots themselves were worthy of at least being mentioned in the commentary? Or would you like me to play Danny's commentary for you so that you guys can make a fair comparison? Because we're just showing the footage right now, but there is obviously the evidence of his commentary from that first round. Write in the chat if you would like that. Star Fox says, I'm not taking sides. All right.
No,
He says, this feels strange watching copyright footage without Tony. Well, don't worry. This no glancing shots, but worthy of commentary.
Right. Glancing,
but worthy of commentary, he says.
All right. Well, the
shot should have been acknowledged in commentary. There we go.
All right. Well, let's go to my commentary.
Right. So we're going to remove this from the scene. I'm going to go and share the other media of Danny's work in the first round.
Okay, yeah, we've got a good referee here, Thomas Taylor. I like him.
All right, so let's get past Thomas Taylor.
Rooting for him, but if he loses, shout out to everyone inside. Hit the like, repost, double tap, share, all that good stuff. So we go round number 1. David Benavidez is in the white, red, and green shorts. Zerdo in the black, red, and green shorts with the thigh high shorts as he usually does. Oh, nice 1-2 by Benavidez. Interesting, they've listed Benavidez as 6 foot and Zerdo 6'2". We know both men are taller than that, but it is what it is. Zerdo, the taller man. Both men originally 168 pounders, both world champions down there. Went up to light heavyweight.
No mention of any shots or fame.
And now they're at cruiserweight. 32 pounds between their starting weights. So the winner of this, which should be on the pound for pound listings due to the weight gain. Oh, nice 1-2 by Benavidez. Stiff 1-2. Couple of jabs there by Benavidez. Zerdo looking like he's just taking a look for the first round, kind of like what he did in the Crispin and Smith fight. But Crispin and Smith was really lighting him up. Seemed to look like he was bothering him with his shots, but from the second round on, he just turned the tide spectacularly. Oh, nice 1-2 there by Benavidez. Seemed to put Zerdo on his heels there a bit. Double left hook and a right hand by Benavidez.
Why are you not calling the Ramirez work as well?
Yeah, he's landed a little right.
Yeah, so then call it so that the people can hear.
He weren't really throwing a shot for a while.
He just landed a big free piece after that big right hand by Benavidez.
No. There weren't no big free piece. Look, he's just touching. Look, these are touching shots. You're doing that whole Gvozdyk thing again, where you think just pouring out your hand.
Danny, you're being partial. Like,
yeah,
don't be like these PBC promoters, like these.
No. But nice big But I don't know how many punches that was, but there's a big combination there at the end of the round. Yeah, doing that is not punching. That's not.
No, I'm saying there was a three-piece combination he landed after that big right hand, and you did not call it. Right. So, people, this isn't about guilty or innocent, but was the commentary fairly done? Yes or no? We're gonna let the chat decide right now.
Yes, and those watching the playback, get in the comment section and let us know also.
Please do. Shout out to everyone who is locked in at the moment. I know the Arsenal game is on, but yeah, we had work to do. Okay. Let's go. All right. I see Base's opinion on the commentary, bruh, with the crying eyes by TMI. Jay Lanks is bending up. Star Fox is bending up. Star Fox like Base looking mad confused, like, are we watching the same fight? Now, again, people, this is not to say anyone believed that Zerdo won that first round, but the way man made it seem, it was almost like Sky Sports commentary. And you got the away fighter, and all of a sudden, nothing they do is always quiet when they do anything. But when it comes to the main guy, even if they touch it, ooh, excellent work there. Look at the positioning. Like, I'm gonna have to say no, Danny. You do be biased often. Justin, my perspective has come in. All right. I'm not saying anything other than that was hilarious by Star Fox. This pod is dope. I have to say it every time. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Danny's just laughing. So Danny called that round perfectly. Shout out to Alex Bellotti. He's such a
come on. Cool.
If you believe that, Alex, fine. So we've got one on Danny's side saying that it was correct, and about 6 or 7 the other way thus far in the chat.
All right,
Yasmin, I know you're there. If you would like to give us your opinion as well, since I did see you pop in the chat a moment ago, and anyone else who's watching, that's all we want. We just want, was it fairly done? Was the analysis fair?
Yeah, let us know in the comment section.
But what would you like to say for yourself at this point?
Jay likes Danny nephew. Well, that's what Base was saying after when he cut. He was like, "Oh, I'm giving biased commentary for my nephew," and then it was an interesting thing. I was maybe it was a warm up round. It could it have been better? Yes, it could have. Do I think that was a big free piece? I still don't think that was a big free piece, but I didn't actually mention anything Zerdo was doing, even him creeping forward. So yeah, it could have been better.
Okay.
And Mrs. Glover, whilst I had the mic muted, said that it was bad and biased.
Okay. Shout outs to Mrs. Glover. Well, look, ultimately, after that round, you gave an amazing performance. So my chastising of you was just for you to be fair, and then everything was fine after that. Yes or no?
Well, yeah, we had a great fight afterwards. We had a great show. We had a great color commentary. So
Okay.
yeah, the first round could have been better. Watching it back.
Okay. Cool. Right. Well, now we got that out of the way. Let's talk. You know, we might as well start on that fight. Let's talk about that fight. David Benavidez versus Zurdo Ramirez. I'll let you go first. Give your thoughts on how it played out. Were you surprised in the way it played out? Yeah, just what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, absolutely surprised how it played out. As you guys who watched in last week, I predicted it was going to be a majority decision. I did feel that David would win handily, but I thought that it'd be a close fight. I thought that Zurdo would use the pivots and angles, and he does throw decent combinations himself when he does get going. But I was surprised, and then what I was right about is that Benavidez did come in under 200 pounds. He came in around the weight I thought he would, setting himself up to leave himself room to come back down because it is fat. You can see the handles and the tire around, so that he's got 25 pounds to lose. So that's easy. First round, not the most amazing thing going on. Benavidez landed the most significant punch with that right hand, which we saw, and then the flurry. Second round, Benavidez won as well. The third round, Benavidez more of the same. The fourth round is when he seemed to break Zurdo's nose, and as Zurdo went down, he was in a lot of bother. I know you were saying that the ref might call it, but I just said it's just a nose. Nose injuries happen all the time. That's like street fighter type injuries. Lips and noses get busted, so that's nothing. He can't be getting pulled out for that. And then the doctor came in for the fifth to check him. Was alluding to go and check him, but didn't bother, which then turned out to be Zurdo's best round, which I gave Zurdo the fifth round. He turned on the heat, applied the pressure, landed good combinations on the rope, good body shots and head shots, even snapped the head back of Benavidez like properly, very significantly, which I called, wink, wink. And then the sixth round, as you thought that Benavidez was getting tired, the sixth round, he just turned on the heat and broke the eye socket. I saw the eye swelling up. It looked a bit hematoma-ish. And Zurdo...
Oh, sorry, just to confirm, the eye is not broken. It was just swelling. So the quit is actually a bit worse because there is no broken eye socket.
Okay, so yeah, it looked hematoma-ish though, the eye. It was a bad swelling. And he went down. I know some people were saying, elbows, but if you look at the replay, as he's swinging his arms to get the combinations off, as he throws fast combination, it just happened. I don't think he's literally thought, I'm going to elbow him in the face. Some people say that the same thing with Liam Smith. Did he mean to do it? It looked a bit, but I think he was just throwing his hands and he was just letting them go. Zurdo, very, very surprised he went down even the first time. I'd never seen him hurt before. I'd never seen him go down before. You actually let me know that he'd been dropped early on in his career, but I hadn't stopped. I wasn't watching Zurdo that early in his career. The first time I watched him was when he fought the first Cuban. Was it Yuniel?
Unesco.
Yeah, that's the first time I'd actually seen him fight down at super middleweight.
Sullivan Barrera was the first one, I think.
Oh, yeah, no, I saw that one. That's the first time I've seen him fight, actually. That's the first one. Sullivan Barrera. I knew it was a Cuban, and I think he fought that other one straight after Sullivan. But I saw him fight Sullivan Barrera, and that's the first time I'd seen him fight. So I'd never seen him hurt, and I've seen him with big guys, punchers, as we've seen with Crispin and Smith and stuff like that. And he's gone through super middle, light heavyweight, and then cruiser, never hurt. So that was very surprising to see him getting rocked. He was getting rocked on his heels from the first round. The second round, he got wobbled towards the end, and then down in the fourth, down in the sixth. So David Benavidez surprised me very much. They're able to bring the power up, the intensity. I knew he'd be able to bring the speed because I'd seen him on the pads when he was very, fat and round as a 250 pounder. And he says that he was, having good spars as he was under an apprenticeship of Triple G, who he always credits for helping him become the fighter he is today. And yeah, it was just a spectacular performance. His stock's risen. People are now becoming believers, even yourself. So I think it was a tremendous performance. So well done to him. But I think I can definitely see he's definitely going to go down back to 175. If Jai Opetaia cannot get the fight with him, he will go back down in time for me to make my collection, like Ted DiBiase.
We will see. So with regard, here's the thing. So the actual that was the only elbow that was caught. There was actually a couple of other ones in there, but they weren't as pronounced as that, is what I will say. But supposedly, now this is one thing that I have heard. So the eye is fine. Obviously, he's got some bruised ribs, but apparently a couple of his teeth on that side he got hit with on the bottom row were fractured, or a couple of them were broken after that. So he's got to have some dental surgery, it seems. So I guess with that, you kind of put into context, maybe that's what he felt. Maybe that's what kind of, because everyone said, oh, like the punches, he took all the punches. As soon as the elbow goes in, that's when he backed off and then took the knee. So, but with regards to the fight, first off, I think I did give David Benavidez credit for obviously stopping Zerdo. I never thought that would happen, but I also didn't expect Zerdo to almost try to be the front foot guy, try to pressure him on the front foot. He does that against like much smaller guys, but usually when he's in there with people either of a similar size to him or of a similar skill set or a better skill set, he is more of an actual back foot counter puncher. And that's what I expected him to do. Be on the back foot, let Benavidez step onto the shots and then sort of counter him maybe in between the flurries. Now, one thing that David did in the rounds, which it was smart, I've seen him do it before, but he did it. It was almost like he made a conscious effort to do it here especially in that first round. Even though he won the round, but he clearly realized that maybe there was some other good shots coming in by Zerdo, and he needed to make it clear that he won the round. Every round, as soon as you got to like between 30 seconds to 10 seconds, as soon as he heard that clapper, that's when he started doing Motor City machine guns and just rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat, just to make sure that like you can't say that he didn't win it. And I thought that was clever, but you could see that he was trying to, in my opinion, not so much conserve energy, but not go through the reserves too quickly. In lower weight classes, he's let his hands go a lot sooner throughout the fight. In the second and third round, like it felt like Zerdo got more into it. Like he was trying to, again, he's applying slow pressure on the inside, hoping maybe that he can push Benavidez onto the back foot, and that might be the way to get him, maybe to either get him to exert more energy or maybe stop him from getting full leverage on the punches. But again, even though he lost those rounds, it didn't quite work out the way that he needed it to go. But then we transition into the fourth round, and in the fourth round, from what I remember seeing, Benavidez's work rate went down dramatically from rounds 1, 2, and 3. Now, while I'm not going to say, he had, sort of blown a gasket or anything, he definitely looked like he was getting tired from there, and he was trying to almost manage the round and conserve energy. So in the fourth round, I actually had Zerdo winning the majority of it right up until when he got caught with the counter, and then the big combo towards the end of the round, which obviously took the nose, took the swipe, and forced him to take the knee. Had that not have happened, that would have been the first round I gave to Zerdo. But you could then see from there, in the fifth round, it looked as if David was partially taking the round off, partially trying to recover. It looked definitely like he needed a breather. And it looked like, again, the energy reserves, he was trying to manage it. And then while all that stuff was happening, he was starting to get peppered with shots. And I feel like that's where maybe Zerdo thought to himself, this is where I can take over the fight, because he's basically a 5-round fighter up here. I've been up here. I know how to pace myself. He doesn't. So fifth round was fairly dominant by Zerdo, but there, like I said, there was that caveat, as you could tell, even though Benavidez is sort of taking a little bit of a pasting in this round, you can see that he is trying to just recover himself and recuperate a little bit. Then we get into the sixth round, and then it starts off similar, where you can kind of see, okay, it feels like, Benavidez is really starting to get tired, and he's doing a lot more moving. He's not punching as much, but then all it takes was for, basically Zerdo to be in range where he didn't need to be at the time, go for a shot he didn't need to go for, which allowed the counter to come in from David. And then towards the end of the round, again, when you got to the sort of maybe someone shouted out 30 seconds, maybe someone shouted out 45 seconds, but he said, okay, I've taken 2 minutes off, let's get to work. And in that particular time, with Zerdo with one eye that was basically 100% shut, could barely see out of it, that's where Benavidez went to work. And all credit to him, he started to outland Zerdo. He started to throw off the body shots. He was just letting those shots go. Then obviously we saw what we saw. 5, 6, 7 punches in combination.
12.
No, I'm talking in the initial part.
Oh, okay,
yeah, the initial part, like all in combination. Zerdo's trying to punch in between while obviously trying to sort of be defensive as well. Gets caught with one shot in between when he actually manages to partially land one. Then we get the last 3 or 4 shots, which also does include the elbow on the way back out and the right hook straight after, which makes Zerdo back off, take the knee, and obviously say no mas. The referee's counting his face and he shakes his head, says something to the ref. Don't know what he said. Couldn't make it out, but clearly at that point, at the 8, ref said, okay, it's over. We've got David Benavidez as the winner, new 2 unified cruiserweight champion, 3-weight world champion overall. Whether you want to give him credit for that or not, that's subjective to other people. But yes, I do want to give him his plaudits for the fact that he stopped Zerdo. I didn't expect that to happen. Although there's more. I'm trying to be nice at the minute. I'm gonna let you go. Then maybe depending on how you phrase this next part, I might go off onto where I need to take this, because there's still some caveats that I have to talk about.
Yeah, you're very. I know. I watched your weekend wrap. I found it quite heavily critical of David. You had to give him some flour, but you then poured some
corn,
kerosene oil all over the flour. So I thought, oh no. What it is, David, 3-weight world champion, trained by his father. I'm surprised to see, his brother's in the team as well, doing good stuff. And we know Jose Jr. is like the rude boy out of the 2 of them. But yeah, no, David, he's called out. Well, I will say that calling out Canelo, that was a bit muggy, because there's no point calling out Canelo now, who's we know is clearly past his best. We all knew this anyway. Well, I was calling it out a few years ago, but it's clear he's been beat by a welterweight. You're now 200 pounds, 32 pounds heavier than him. He's not going to come up to light heavyweight to see you, even though that's 25 pounds. He was there for Jaime Munguia. Canelo made his exit when he did. But there's no point. You're not going to get the ratings you would have got years ago had you managed to got the fight when I wanted to see the fight. But now if you beat him, you're just beating a small old man. So you're going to not get any ratings for it anyway. Your best bet for me is to fight Dimitri Bivol. You beat Dimitri Bivol. I know they say 1 + 1 don't equal 2 because their styles make fights. But if you beat Bivol, with Bivol of beating Canelo years back, you will get the automatic thing where people go, oh yeah, well, yeah, he beat Bivol, so yeah, of course he would have beat Canelo. So you'd kind of take that scalp with it. That's your best bet. Just beat the man who beat the man you wanted. So that's your best bet. And obviously get Jai Pattaya if need be, and you can do that as well. But calling out Canelo, just leave it alone. He's done now. He's semi-retired. But yeah, well done to you. You're the hot ticket right now. Everyone's talking about you, and yeah, it's great to see, because I've been a firm advocate and been singing the praises for a very long time when people were laughing after me, and now people are starting to realize that David Benavidez is the truth. The combinations can go up to 200 pounds. I'm even seeing on the undefeated some people thinking that he can go to heavyweight. I wouldn't push it that far. I wouldn't go that stretch. Don't push the cart before the horse. But we've seen that he was throwing them combinations against Regilio Porky Medina back down at 168. He doing it at 200 pounds. So yeah, man, David Benavidez is the man. My nephew's doing good things. And PBC, not all PBC fighters are fake. This one's real.
The level of you know what? If you hadn't said that last line, I would have left it alone. Right, it's time for me to cook. I'm tired of you. Listen here, people. Look, man said not all PVC guys are fake. Fair enough, but David, as much as I give him his credit for the Zerdo thing, his team, I call them smoke and mirrors. That's what they are. All right. Let's look at the title runs first of all. To be up on people's pound for pound list at number 4. Right. Vacant WBC on the Ring magazine, they got him as number 4 now.
Oh.
Behind Shakur Stevenson. Right. Super middleweight, first title, vacant title. He won against Ronald Gavril, who dropped him in the fight. Right. Okay, cool. Vacant. Anyone can win a vacant title. It's fine. It happens. The fight, they have the rematch. Straight after the rematch, he gets popped for cocaine, loses the belt, right? Then we get then he has one more fight. I can't remember who the fight was against. Then he fights Anthony Durrell for the fight to win back the belt. Durrell won the fight won the belt off of Avni Yildirim. It was a vacant title between the two, and Durrell didn't even win the fight clear. The fight got stopped on a cut that was caused by a headbutt, and then he ended up winning the technical decision. Benavidez then beats Anthony Durrell by cuts in the 9th round. It gets stopped due to a cut that gets worsened as well, which happened from the fight before. Gets the belt back, doesn't even defend it, loses it on the scales. Very next fight, all right. From there, and in this whole period of time, David Benavidez and Caleb Plant were both champions. Caleb Plant called out David Benavidez. Benavidez and the team, or Benavidez or the team, whichever way you want to play it, this didn't take the fight, right? So at that point, both of them were champions. They could have been unified. No, that fight didn't happen. Canelo comes up, dusts off everyone, takes everyone's work. Benavidez starts to say that he wants that fight. Okay, cool. What do you have to offer? Nothing. Okay, so we carry on working. We then get through this whole period of, he's calling Canelo. Canelo says, all right, fine. I'm going to PBC. He goes to PBC. All of a sudden, all the badness, I will smash his face, I'll break him down, I want that fight, it all stops. He's there for 3 fights, not a peep from David, is Samson Lukowitz, or the father. All of that. None of it at all. All right. Then he gets the interim WBC title at 168. I can't remember who he was facing or what. I think it might have been in the Andrade fight. Bear in mind, at this point, he decides to fight Caleb Plant after he gets knocked out by Canelo Alvarez. So you could have fought him when you both had belts. Could have been a 2 unified champion and make Canelo see you, but you chose to wait until after he gets beat. All right, cool. Fight Demetrius Andrade. Beats the brakes off of Demetrius Andrade. Cool. I think gets that WBC. Says, I want my title shot. Doesn't call for the mandatory. At no point does he petition to actually call for the mandatory that he's supposed to have. He then has a bout at 175. I think it's the Vosdik fight. Yes. At that point, he gets told by the WBC, right, well, you've got an interim title at both of these divisions. Which one do you want? You will be called mandatory. That will be your next fight. Rather than enforce his mandatory against Canelo for the WBC to guarantee that shot, he says, I'm going to go up to 175 because he doesn't want to fight me. So you don't take all of his options away from him and then make him say, okay, do I have to drop this belt or not? No, you decide to go up to 175. You go up to 175, fight David Moreau, good fight. I thought Moreau would beat him. I feel like Moreau probably would have beat him more at 168, but he done his thing. He got the victory, but he didn't look great in that fight, and he's the one that ended up getting dropped. Cool. Then the WBC jumped the queue in the rotation of mandatories. The IBF was next. They decided that they wanted to jump the queue after the second fight between Dimitri Bivol and Artur Beterbiev. Obviously, we all know they had a thing against the Russian guy, the one that they classified as a Russian, even though their champion was Russian. Cool. So they immediately called a mandatory that wasn't even due, to then say, well, we already know that this fight is in place. So they stripped Dimitri Bivol of the WBC title just so they can upgrade David Benavidez. Were they doing favors for PBC? Don't know. Maybe. Because Mauricio does have a relationship with Heyman. Maybe he wanted the Mexican-American, Ecuadorian-American guy to have the belt. Who knows? He fights Anthony Yard. Demolishes Anthony Yard. Like, that's pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, that was a cherry pick. Does that fight, then goes straight up to cruiserweight to face Zerdo, who I told you he was going to face from before then for free, and then he even confirmed it because you were like, oh no, don't be silly, he's not going to do that. He's got Bivol, he's got better beef. Jumped straight up to go fight Zerdo. He even came out in interviews afterwards, said, I've been talking to Oscar De La Hoya for 3 years to try and make that fight. Because me and him we did over like 100 rounds of sparring, and I knew how those spars went. So that's a fight. We always knew that fight was going to happen. So that was his route. So for all of that, I'm saying Mr. Smoke and Mirrors. I could also call him Mr. ATV David. Mr. After the fact. Because he don't beat anyone in their prime. He don't beat anyone first. He waits for someone else to beat them. Then he beats them after the fact. We got Zerdo, got beat by Bivol. Oh, okay. So now you got that one. You got Plant, beat by Canelo. Oh, now we're good. Like none of these prime guys that he's got all of this like plaudits for, is he taking them when he's supposed to take them? Now did Canelo wait him out? Yes, he did. I'm not gonna say he didn't, but did Benavidez actually try to enforce that fight? Did he really try to make that fight? No, he didn't. Because when he had the opportunity to do it on 2 occasions, he decided that he was going to do something else. So, and then he's also, again, another PBC tactic that he likes to employ. And I'm not even going to talk about calling Canelo's name, because that's just, you want to call his name every second, fine. Even though you're now at 200 calling the guy 168, almost 37 years old. Like, that's mad. But outside of that, he likes to call names of people when they're already got fights signed. As soon as they're free, you don't really hear nothing from him, and then he normally has something else on the pipeline. Oh, but then we'll get it done afterwards. And now he's trying to put distance between him and the Jaya Pataya fight, even though Jaya Pataya is the Ring Magazine champion and the consensus #1 in the division. Oh yeah, we can get that on, but like he's on Zuffa. I don't know how that's gonna work. He's got to come back over here. Doing sides of the street politics when there's no sides of the street, because Turkey will pay for the fight. Like, I'm telling you, yes, he had one surprising performance for me, but the man is still smoke and mirrors. Him, Samson Lukowicz, his father, they are all smoke and mirrors men, and I can't believe that they've been able to do the hoodwinking of everyone that they have. But to be fair, a lot of PBC man used to do that before they got exposed. So that's my rant. I wasn't going to bring it out, but you pushed the right buttons to make me have to say what I had to say.
Okay, and I'll have a few rebuttals. So firstly, you've missed out the fact that Canelo said, oh, I don't want to fight him. I don't fight fellow Mexicans, even though, you got Zerdo calling him a fake Mexican.
Say that, okay.
No, he said I don't want to fight another Mexican.
He said I would rather not fight Mexicans. He did say that, but he didn't say that to him. He said I'll fight whoever. If he's the next guy, like pay me like he's the next guy. That's what he said.
Then I heard him say, "Oh, what do you bring to the table? What you got is what's it?
All you bring is another 25 pounds.
Another 25 pounds." It's like, so he weren't on it. Like, let's keep it real.
But did you run the mandatory position? Which you was actually guaranteed? Yes or no?
That's for what's his name, Mauricio Suleiman, to push it.
No, it's not. Mauricio asked him. He said, "Do you want the fight? Yes or no?" And he said, "I'm going to go up to 175." I've got the footage. Do you want me to get the footage?
He couldn't make that weight in him, but Canelo weren't on it, man. Canelo was ducking.
Do you want me to get the footage? Because he was still fighting at 168 at the time when he asked him. Yeah, he goes, "I want to go. I'm going to try 175."
Canelo won on it. When you talk about, and also you said he had beaten all the guys who've been beaten. Anthony Durrell hadn't been beaten yet. He was unbeaten at the time.
Anthony Durrell wasn't unbeaten.
Anthony Durrell, not Andre,
He wasn't unbeaten. He was 27-1.
Who beat him?
Let me go to it. 1 second. He was 33-1 actually. Benavidez, right? So Benavidez was 21-0 at the
Yeah.
time. Let's go to this bout here. Anthony Rose 33-1-1.
Who beat him?
I'm gonna go to it right now. He got beat by Badu Jack
Oh, did he?
in 2015,
I don't even remember.
and then had the split decision draw with Sadio Bika 2 fights before that.
Okay, yeah, we're not talking about draws. I thought,
He
I don't
lost.
remember.
So yes, after the fact.
Okay, but yeah, Badu Jack, good fighter. He's the only other person who's won the belts at 168, 175, and 200 actually. So yeah, he was the first man to do that achievement. All right. Man. All right. So, but I wouldn't say that he's beating people past their best and past their prime, because Darrell wasn't past his prime. There was people still picking Anthony Yard to beat.
Who was
Benavidez,
picking Anthony Yard to beat him apart
Jules,
from Travis?
and Jules.
Who?
Jules Ring IQ.
He never picked Anthony Yard.
He did. He did. He's got videos. I can pull the videos up.
You know, I'm gonna call him. You do that. I'm gonna call him.
Yeah, ask him. Did he make videos where he was picking Anthony Yard to beat David Benavidez? Not trying to do the little fight week last minute. But the whole build up on the videos and prior, he was saying that Anthony Yard is going to win the fight, and there was other people as well. Normal, but I wouldn't classify them as serious pundits. But Jules was a significant pundit, and obviously Travis, but Travis don't even count because that's just total bias. Zerda Ramirez, I wouldn't say was past his prime. He was on his best form at cruiserweight, and he was the bigger man by 4 pounds, probably more going into the ring on fight night. Gvozdyk was on a good run. Yes, he had time out, but when we saw him hit the way he dismantled Richard Bolotniks, he was on good form. So I wouldn't say that he's there bashing up past it guys constantly. I think you're quite heavily critical, but I know it's because you've got disdain for PBC, but I would say that in this instance that I think you're a bit too overly critical of David. Oh, you still trying to call him?
Yeah, he's unavailable. I've tried to get. Okay, I'll reserve judgment on that one. If he did say it, I will make a full retraction of that part next week, or if he calls me back while we're here. But I remember watching every video. I don't remember him picking Anthony Yard to win the fight at all.
Yeah.
So I remember him saying that Yard, we don't know if he could take a punch from Yard, but I remember him saying, I've got Benavidez on points. But okay, yeah. Anyway, like I said, the timeline. I know the timeline very clear. I feel like there's just, like I said, smoke and mirrors. But I respect it to a degree, because I actually think it's amazing that they've been able to deceive a lot of people the way they have. Very similar, if we're going to be honest, to Deontay Wilder pre Tyson Fury, because he had a lot of people believing that he was like the best thing since sliced bread with not much on the resume. At least David Benavidez has got some decent names on the resume. Like Deontay Wilder had the whole LDBC and America acting like he was numero uno with only one win. And again, so that's PBC magic. So I will give them that. They are very good at marketing people within their sphere.
But with Wilder, though, everyone did say that skill set wise, this guy is very poor. But obviously, he's got the one hitter quitter, which is going to take everybody out. Whereas with Benavidez, people are clearly seeing the offense, the defense. He's even doing his own like half shoulder roll. He's slipping, he's sliding, he's leaning back, he's firing off of. He's even turning like southpaw slightly, and all sorts. So he's skill set wise, is not even. It's chalk and cheese with him and Wilder.
Anyway, as much as I would love to carry on with this one, and it's always a fun debate, because we're never going to see eye to eye unless he fights those other fights that we've been needing. But even then, guess what? If he fights all of those, what's going to be the caveat there? better be 41 years old with apparently past it knees. All right, I'm just saying this is what's gonna be said if he wins those fights.
By you.
Not just by me, by other people. I've heard people talking about it earlier on Monday Night Smoke yesterday.
Okay.
So there's that. You got Bivol just come off back surgery. We don't even know. We don't know if he's going to be able to perform the same way. Not sure. That's what I'm saying. He's had back surgery. We don't know how he's going to look like against Ifer. Is he going to have the same movement, the same spring? No idea. But then they're going to say again, past his best. The only person who he will get credit for unequivocally would be Jai Opetaia. Because there's nothing you could say, whether Jai's had broken jaw in 2 places, broken nose, like all of that stuff, he's still fresh, he's still prime. The only thing you might say is it might be getting harder for him to make cruiserweight, because obviously he's a naturally like quite a bigger, thick set guy with he's Samoan heritage, them man there ain't naturally smaller people.
Yeah,
so
they eat a lot
that's
of
the only thing you might say. But outside of that, he's the only one there's no caveat to, in my opinion. But you never know. Someone still might say it. But he's talking about fighting Usyk in 5 years. So
that's funny. Well, that's just
Philip just said, just checked, and he said in the last look video that he went with Benavidez on points. So that's
he turned on the last minute. But in the build-up videos, which I will pull up, he was picking.
Pull them up for us for next week.
Yeah. He was picking Anthony Yard, and Jules can tell you.
But was he picking Anthony Yard, or was he saying, I'm not surprised if Yard's got the power to knock him out?
No, he was picking.
Because there's a difference between because he doesn't pick anyone until his very last look.
No, he
just gives points of view.
Yeah, no, he gave point of view, and he says he thinks Anthony Yard will knock him out. That's what he predicted. That's what I remember.
Okay, well, find that video for me, because I don't
remember Americans. A lot of them were sold on the Anthony Yard, the imagery and stuff, because he looks the part and stuff. But as I always say, there's built for show and there's built to go. But let's move on from there and talk about the other super fight, which was a very good fight in a different way, in Naoya Inoue versus Junto Nakatani. This one I did get wrong. We did some good commentary. We had Master Aficionado Jr. defeat Papa Aficionado.
That's a bad look, because you're supposed to whoop him until the time when you can't walk anymore. Now he's already getting one over on you. It's not a great look then. Next thing he's going to be beating you at football and all sorts.
So I was never good at football anyway, so you get no ratings for that, for beating me at football. But yeah, no, that was a very good fight. Junto Nakatani, I had winning the fight, going into it, sorry. First round, Naoya Inoue, both of them came out in a fencing-like style. Inoue shooting the jab and landing some springing in right hands. Nakatani, his base was way too wide. I know he does usually have that wide base, and I thought that maybe he would be able to walk Naoya Inoue into an overhand, but what it made him too stationary and stagnant, and he was getting picked to the punch. There was moments where, even when we're commentating, we're saying that they're landing shots, but when you're watching on the replay, it was like Matrix. It's where they're literally just skimming past, and it was like shoom shoom, where they're even smiling at each other at times. I gave Inoue the first 4 rounds on a bounce, until Nakatani finally started to shorten, like bring his feet in closer together and start to put his shots together and imposing himself and landing some good shots. I gave him the 5th round. I believe I gave him the 7th round, and then it was 8, 9, and up. And he was winning the 10th. He looked like he was coming on strong, and he knew he was starting to sort of lose ground. And then an accidental clash of heads happened. On the replay, you could see that it was, unfortunately, as Nakatani was coming in to fire his shot, he's landed and got his eye cut, sort of, vertical. And that bothered him. From the 11th round, the fight then turned back in Inoue's favor, landing some big uppercuts, which I've read that he's broke Nakatani's orbital bone with the uppercut in the 11th round with one of those uppercuts, because he was just landing some vicious uppercuts. I got it. I saw it on a news article, and Inoue won that round very clearly, and Nakatani then needed a knockdown or a knockout to win the fight. I gave Nakatani the last round, but I think that was maybe a swing round, or maybe could have gone to Inui. But Inui won 115, 113, and 116, 112. Very close fight. Nakatani came the closest out of anyone to beating Inui. So I wasn't wrong totally in believing that Nakatani could have been the man. But Inui once again proved, masterclass performance and why he is the man. And he is a pound for pound and generational great. And I hope that those across the pond, even though, yes, he beat another fellow Japanese guy in front of 55,000 people, you have to just understand that this man is the man. Don't talk about, oh, he needs to come and fight Americans, because you ain't got no Americans to test him. I know that they're talking about Bam Rodriguez being next up. I know Turkey Al Sheikh wants that. That would be interesting. But yeah, great performance by both men, and excellent performance, and great kudos to Naoya Inoue, the super bantamweight champion. And yeah,
Turkey Al Sheikh is the original what weight class. He does not care about people that are not in the same weight class fighting each other. Like he wants Benavidez to face Usyk. Before that, he wanted Jaya Pataya to cut off a leg to face Bivol at 175. Like you, he does not care. Bam, who's at 115 to jump up to 122. Like it's like, bruh, weight classes.
yeah, it's a bit civilianish the way he talks sometimes with these fights.
But so yeah, the fight itself, I'm not going to get into big breakdown of it. It was a masterclass for both guys. Obviously, just Inoue showed that if Nakatani is here, he is just like there. And I reckon if he was a bit younger, still, he might have been like that. That could have been the gap. He's just a bit too seasoned, and he's a bit calmer now than he was before. He's not always just trying to look for that knockout. And I think that's one thing that obviously held him in good stead when it came to the fight. And yeah, the one thing about the stance of Junto, which obviously we had both mentioned, but I definitely made a point of talking about it in basis picks long before that. The fact that he does carry such a wide stance, number one, means he's unable to really get out of the way quickly enough, especially against someone with the foot speed of Inoue. Against the guys that he usually fights, they're not as fast as Inoue. They don't have the same twitchies. They can't get in and out and close the range as quick. So when he has that wide stance and he's able to lean back on the back foot, and the guy can't get close to him with the lead hand, he has that advantage. But with someone that's actually able to get in and get out at the speed that which Inoue does, it's just I don't think he was truly prepared for that, especially not early on. He's tried to adjust to it a little later. But one thing that I thought was really smart work by Inoue, because of that real wide stance and the size and the length of Nakatani's legs, he stopped trying to get on the outside. He realized that if I tried to go on out, I'm not going to be able to get across and be able to land those shots. So he started playing the inside lane, going on the inside of the foot, using the spearing jab from the inside, and then only either throwing the big body shots with the backhand, or stepping across and arcing the right hand and then dipping underneath and getting out of range before Nakatani could maneuver back in kind. I thought that was that adjustment that he made, I thought was really, number one, it was smart. Number one, it was elite. Number two, I don't feel that Nakatani could fully adjust back to it himself. But it caused Inoue to start burning out from like round I'd say from maybe the sixth round. I feel like he won the first four rounds quite comfortable. Nakatani won the fifth. I feel like the sixth was a swing round, but I gave it to Nakatani. But from the sixth onwards, even though Inoue was he won the seventh, Nakatani won the eighth, but you could tell that Inoue was really struggling. Like the mental toll it was taking to try and stay switched on and stay composed. That you could see he was starting to fade a little bit. So I think he even said in the interview that he made a conscious effort, that he knew he was ahead, to almost relax a little bit, work a bit more on the back foot, and let Nakatani sort of come to him, so that he could ultimately switch off and just not have to stay as focused, because he said it was really draining to him. But he snapped back into it from, I would say, when the 10th round, from the 10th round where that sort of the clash happened. Nakatani still won that round clear, and then from there onwards was kind of when Inoue said, "Okay, I've managed to get a rest. Like I've got the focus back. Let's just go to work." And to me, the 11th round was like some Super Saiyan stuff. He upped the levels. He really, he did the gold hair justice. And then I had him winning the 12th as well. It was a closer round, definitely between two, but I still feel like he won that. And then ultimately, I had it 116, 112, same as two of the judges. So I've got no real issues with the scorecards in that sense. Like I said, I gave Inoue the first four, gave Nakatani the next two, gave Inoue the 7th, Nakatani the 8th, Inoue the 9th, Nakatani the 10th. Then Inoue got the 11th and the 12th for me. It was an amazing fight if you know what you're looking at, which admittedly I do at times, but sometimes I also don't. There's certain things even I'm not aware of happening, but not just that fight. The card itself as a freebie was excellent work. Especially it's a nice little morning, little after you have your little breakfast, and then you get treated to two high quality bouts and one just fun fight in the middle to just to give your brain a break from having to analyze everything. I enjoyed it. And as far as I'm concerned, I know that maybe people might want to talk about, Benavidez and Zerdo and kind of what he done, but that was the fight of the weekend. That was the best fight of the weekend. It was the fight which had, regardless of what the pundits and that might want to say, it had 56 or 57,000 people they managed to cram into the Tokyo Dome. It had a gate of $32 million, which is, from what I've research I did, it's like the fourth highest gate in boxing history. So for anyone saying that Inoue needs to come to the States and needs to fight in basically small hall arenas that people ain't gonna fill out anyway, if you want a payday, you need to go see him. He, at this point in time, he's making upwards of $8 million a fight minimum anyway. Like, he don't need the US to be successful or to be considered what he is. There, all of the best fighters in those lower weight classes, they're Mexicans, they're Japanese, and I guess maybe Chinese, Thai, Filipinos, etc. Like, at the end of the day, he runs that. You got a problem, go see him. If you don't want to travel to Japan, that's your business. But quite frankly, I'd rather go Japan, because the way that I've heard they treat people is second to none. Nobody, even Stephen Fulton, got his ass battered. He said, I'll go back there and fight in a heartbeat. Brian Norman Jr., he loved it. He's like, yeah, I'll definitely go back over there. They actually treat you like you deserve to be treated. So, and their judging, for the most part, from everything I've seen, is always fair. So,
that was one thing. Even the undercard, the cards was always looked like how we kind of said, what we thought was going to be cards, even on the undercard ones, is how the scorecards read. Like the D Kang Wang one, which was a very fun fight, versus the guy who was moving a lot, Takuma Inui. Yeah, very good scoring.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. So, yeah, ultimately, brilliant. And I guess that sort of, as much as we'd love to sort of carry on with that, we just got a couple more bits, and we do want to let everyone get off. But we have to talk, obviously, about the big Matchroom card, or the big Midlands card, I should say, that Matchroom put on. Look, excellent performance by Shannon Ryan, excellent performance by Tia Ayton, and then just an absolute war by Connor Walker, Sam Eggington, Bilal Fawaz. Just give us your quick thoughts on that, because obviously I'd said mine on Weekend Wraps. So anyone wants to know mine, they can go on there.
Yeah, big overhand right by Shannon Ryan. Good to see her get her second inside the distance win. TMA at Ayton, good performance, strong. I know some people think that it might have been a bit too early, but it was a lot of heavy artillery going on. Yeah, basically, you're one of them who thought that it was a bit early, but a lot of heavy artillery. We know in women's boxing, the refs are more inclined to jump in earlier than they are with the men. Is it right? It's subjective. Bilal Fawaz, good performance, definitely influenced by Eubank Senior. Masterclass made his guy retire on the stall. That's to Ryan. Forgot his
Ryan
surname.
Kelly.
Ryan Kelly retire on his stall at the end of the ninth, and then the war, which ensured, which we all knew was going to be a war between Sam Eggington and Connor Walker. That was just very thrilling. But what I would say is that Connor Walker, he took so much unnecessary shots and punishment, especially by a big man who was punching very hard in the first half of the fight. I am worried that when it comes to the time when he is getting his, apex type fights like a European or a world title shot, that maybe the punch resistance might go at the time when he least wants it to happen, because the way he was getting his head ponged about, the body shots I could see was hurting him, but he was gritting through with the heart and the pride of the Midlands against a big guy who's very experienced, does have knockout power. I've seen him knock out quite a few people. Like, remember, he's knocked out Paulie Malignaggi, Ashley Fiafane. Yes, they were past their best, but you're still taking out guys who don't normally get taken out. And yeah, Connor, you took a lot of damage in that fight, but you rallied on. You got a good body shot in there in the 6th round, and then in the 7th round, Sam Eggington just fired back and just started rocking Connor Walker. And you could see he was hurt, Connor, but he managed to just find that wolf mentality, and in the 10th round just landed a big right hand, and then just took his lights out, and he was out on his feet. The lights were on when no one was home. Referee jumped in as Sam kind of did this wobbly dance. Good stoppage. Some people say it was a punch too late. I just think it was the right time. As you know, the shots are firing in. You don't want to go too early, especially you don't want to stop someone like Sam Eggington early, who's known for being very durable. But it was a very good fight. It was like in a nice venue. It's like a bit bigger version of York Hall. The crowd were going wild. Connor Walker calling out Conor Benn, who's the best Connor, who's the best 147. Eddie Hearn was lapping it up. All the fight happened on the undercard of AJ Fury. Who knows? They're like going to have to, Matchroom are going to have to get the checkbook really out, because I know they haven't really been getting the checkbook out for fighters lately. They're really relying also. I know people talk about Ben Shalom and Bacoli and certain other fighters, but if you look at Matchroom, a lot of their shows, they're not putting on any big names. A lot of them are moving over to other places because they're not getting the checkbook out. They're relying on Riyadh Season and other people to fund the big fights for them. They got Netflix and here and there and MVP. So if Eddie wants Conor Walker to fight Conor Benn, you can't just rely on Turki Al-Sheikh to make that fight. You're going to have to get the checkbook out. Otherwise, that fight will end up on somewhere like Netflix. But Eddie might not mind because he'll take his house fee anyway out of that.
The only person, in my opinion, that Eddie is not going to allow off platform, there's two people probably. I reckon number one is Boots. I think he's purposely kept Boots away from Riyadh Season. I know he said in the interview somewhere the other day that Boots is like, nah, like that's great what they're doing, but I really feel like I can do something over here. I think that he's trying to keep that as one of his people, him and Ben Whittaker.
Yes.
Unless Ben loses or something like that. Outside of those two, I think as far as he's concerned, if someone else competitive can foot the bill, happy days, because we remember they run Matchroom especially as a business, not a boxing organization. I don't think their thing at the moment is to be the best or to have the best stable, have all of the world champions. It's about who are the ticket sellers, who can make money, who's got something about them. And I think they're quite happy to take their fees on a lot of fighters. If it really comes down to, obviously they still put on their own shows, but you can kind of tell with anyone that is probably on a certain amount of money, it's almost like they don't want to do pay-per-view.
Yes.
Which I don't mind. I'm quite happy if they don't. But it's like anyone that they think is maybe going to cost too much money ends up on a pay-per-view card that isn't hosted by them. So maybe they don't get the backlash. I feel like that's kind of the tactic that they play at the moment. Whereas Frank don't care. Frank put in everything on pay-per-view, and he went from TNT because remember he was on TNT doing that. As soon as he came to the zone, all of a sudden you had 4 pay-per-views in a month. and
But
there was none of that before.
he still gives us the Mag 7s for free though.
Yeah, but then them man, they're for the most part ain't getting paid like the ones we're real talking. All I'm saying is, when it came down to as soon as he jumped onto the zone was pay-per-views every month. Prior to him, there was a few. There was only like 2 or 3, maybe 4. There might have been maximum about 4 or 5 a year. Then we got to a space where there was like 4 pay-per-views in the space of 6 weeks.
So do you think he's the one who's pushed for this ultimate tier? Do you think he's more behind it?
I don't think he pushed for it, but I feel like he probably came in with the big roster of people that want to get paid crazy money, especially because he had all the heavyweights, and they was like, boy, how can we like do this that some people ain't forking out every 2 weeks for a fight? And then I guess the thing was, well, if we just kind of get them to pay a bit up front, maybe we can swallow some of the cost on the back end of the behind the scenes, or we could figure something out, or we can take some money from one of our other sports that we show on the platform. I don't know exactly how they obviously decided it, but I don't think that ultimate tier would have been a thing if Frank wasn't on there.
Yeah.
And then subsequently now you Top Rank as well. But I know for a fact Top Rank ain't gonna have a lot of pay-per-views because they didn't have pay-per-views on ESPN. Bob Arum and them was very good at not putting pay-per-views on I think in the last 5 years, ESPN Top Rank I think did maybe 4 or 5 pay-per-view events on ESPN in like 5 years. They were very good at managing the money and managing sort of the roster. So yeah, in that sense, I think it is like Frank, because as I said, when he was on TNT, there was a lot of pay-per-views as well. And then it's just it doesn't seem to be a coincidence that the moment they came to the zone is when all the extra pay-per-views come, and then there's more Riyadh season, there's more ring, then there's the ultimate tier, even though Turkey said at one point there's not going to be any additional cost for any ring cards, and then somehow that just decided to change. Like, there had to be a catalyst somewhere, and I just think that's probably where the catalyst lay, in my opinion. But I mean, I could be wrong. What do I know? I'm the hardcore casual. I'm still a casual.
Oh, here we go.
I'm just saying, no, but it's casual. It might be right, but it probably isn't.
Yeah, well, we don't know. We're not in the offices, but we usually are very warm to the money. So, yeah, who knows? Maybe it might come out one day. But yeah, tell us what you think about the actual the fight, though, the main event.
Oh, Conor Walker and no, I was actually going to make a point. So you said that you feel like the punch resistance might go like when he needs it the most, and you're quite right, it could. But I think it's just a case of, because it was his hometown, it was literally on his doorstep with the same people that he's grown up with, and he said, "Look, he's not beating me in my hometown." He came out initially using the wrong tactics. He even admitted it. He said, I didn't follow the game plan. We had plan, and sort of, I guess I got caught up in the moment, but at that point there was nothing I could do but just carry on, like, because I couldn't readjust. If I tried to readjust, I probably would have got hurt. So just got to do what you're doing. And he's like, the grit and determination took him through. So I don't think in another fight, especially in maybe like a world title fight or something like that, I don't think he'd do the same thing. I feel like some of the nuances that we would have expected there, I feel like he would do them. Plus, he's going to be fighting at 147. He's not going to be fighting the next guy that's campaigned at middleweight before, apart from Conor Benn. But that's a whole different one. So, but no, the fight itself, like, I ain't gonna lie, the first 3, 4, 5 rounds, I was like, boy, Eggington's styling and profiling. I thought I was gonna start calling him Mini Rick. I was gonna call him Rick Eggington or Sam Fair, because he was just moving mad, like uppercuts, like jab, like good body shots, like good movement, footwork. I was like, damn, this Eggington could have been something if he was really serious back in the day. Like he turned back the clock. But I just kept saying to myself, boy, at some point here, like, Conor's gonna press the engine. He's making him work, because even then, Sam was throwing a lot of punches, but he was throwing more punches than he needed to at times. You saw, and some of them was heavy, but others were like get off me punches. And as soon as you start throwing get off me punches, that's when the energy starts sapping, because you end up throwing a get off me punch when you haven't actually taken the right breath, or you're punching in between the breaths, which mean that you're not getting as much of an intake in. Then you start panicking because you're trying to tell someone to get off you, which burns through more reserves. And he did well to hold on, but though after the 6th, 7th round, when sort of you could start to see him start to hunch over, and then the punches stopped being get off me punches and good punches. They just started being arm punches and get off me punches, so they weren't having the same effect. And that's where you had Conor Walker starting to dig the body shots in, and and obviously he dropped him in the 8th round from the big body shot, and then obviously took him out in the 10th. But Sam still tried to fight back after the 8th, but you could see there was no snap on the punches at that point. He was just pushing the arms up, and that's where Conor's like, "You're mine now." And Conor said, you cannot beat me in my ends in front of people. I guess he doesn't class Birmingham and the BP Pulse Arena as his ends, because he got a bit jobbed out on the Crocker fight there. But in the halls, it's like, nah, it's my way or you die. And I think he was like, he chose violence, and I respect it. And I know that it's funny because on commentary, who was it? Sonny Edwards was saying, Sonny Edwards was saying, oh, like he should have, like they could have, they definitely should have gone to a bigger venue. Like they definitely could have gone to BP Pulse. But I think the whole point of it was that they didn't want to go to Birmingham for this fight. They wanted it in Wolves. They wanted it. So they need to now look to see if there is maybe another venue in Wolves itself that maybe holds like a little 3, 4, 5,000 people. Because they quite clearly could have done at least another 1,000 tickets minimum, I reckon, because the event sold out 5 weeks before the fight, and that doesn't normally happen. For these ones, it's normally like maybe a week or two, or on the week off. So, but yeah, I thought it was a great performance. Again, shout out to everyone on the undercard, Shannon Ryan. Obviously, I did speak to her and asked her about the knockout, and in the interview I did prior to the fight, because I had a feeling that knockout was going to come, especially when I saw that Nicola Hopewell came in at 112. So you could just see that she's naturally smaller, even though Shannon can still make 112 herself, she said. But you could just see she's starting sitting down on the shots properly. She's actually thinking about what type of boxer she wants to be now, rather than sort of just being like being just active, sort of, and just sort of throwing shots out. It looks like she's placing them, so it looks like she's going to have a much better gas tank moving forward, because everything she throws is going to be with either a counter punch or she's going to throw with purpose. So I don't envision much issues of her, getting sort of having to work super hard and then start taking rounds off middle to late anymore. She says she wants to fight with Irma Garcia afterwards. So yeah, and obviously I gave her the right of response to Emma Dolan, and I guess now anyone who hasn't seen that interview, please take a look, because she was a bit more respectful than I was expecting, considering how Emma, basically addressed her at the press conference, thanks to me as well, But yeah, there was that. Tia Ayton, great performance. I thought Stevie might have enough to take her the distance, because I thought she'd just be finicky and sort of try and just sort of not circle the ring, but just be a mover and just try and loads of head movement. But she actually decided she wanted to get stuck in from early, and that was the biggest mistake there. Tia at 126 looks like she's punching harder than she was at 122. So yeah, good luck to anyone else in that division when she's fully gets into a proper woman's strength. Harley Burroughs had his debut. Yeah, you could tell that he's got a really hard punch, but he telegraphs everything to the point where you can see it coming, you can brace for it. I thought he got hit way too much for someone making their debut. Now, to be fair, what's his name? Lewin, is it Lewins? There's the guy that Lewis Howells, that's it. He clearly had some skills about him, but yeah, it was like, if you're the next guy up, you should be able to to do better than he did. So I'm gonna reserve judgment on him until I see one or two more fights. And then Bilal Fawaz. Only thing I want to say about Bilal is someone please give that man a passport. He's earned it. He deserves it. He has a right to try and make some legitimate money because he's not in he's not in the country doing illegal activities, deciding rather than to try and make it on his buck. Up until this last weekend just gone, he was still doing Uber. So like he's there trying to just make money. Can't leave the country because then he won't be let back in. Even though this is the place that he's called home for 32 years or something like that.
Yeah, like
It's
30
just
years.
it's just like it's time. He's paid into this. Imagine the guy's paid into the system for like 20 years and he still can't get residency, even though he's lived there his entire life. Just hurry up and sort it out. I understand he didn't come here by legal means or whatever, but that wasn't his fault. And you've got nowhere to extradite him to, and you don't seem like you want to extradite him either. Otherwise, he would have been shipped back to Nigeria by now.
Yeah.
So, like, just let the guy. Just give him his passport. He deserves it.
Yeah, and also it's restricted him because I feel that someone like him, he'll be up for the American dream. He'll go over to America and fight someone like Boots. Yeah, would he lose? More than likely, but he'll be up for it. He'll take the fight, and it'll make good money for him. So let the guy have a right to travel and take his kids on holiday somewhere. So it's not like he's pouncing off the system and, as you said, doing anything illicit. You can clearly see on TV what he's doing. It's all out in the open what he's doing. So he's clearly working. So there's nothing to even question. There's people who are like really rigging the system, and they're getting papers left, right, and center. So come on, let's sort it out.
Yeah, and like on that note, oh, actually no. Before we finish, there is something we do have to talk about, and it was asked for in the chat. I almost forgot. What's your thoughts on this whole Adrian Broner situation?
Oh man, there needs to be some kind of friend intervention by one of his boys from either Javonte Davis, Richard Hitchens, Floyd, somebody, or just one of his boys from in Ohio. Like,
but do you think he has any? I don't even know if he's got friends that are like not friends that was there because he was making money.
What? Like,
because wouldn't you have seen this by now, done an intervention yourself?
Surely he's got to have a day one though, who was there when he was like just a normal Adrian from Cincinnati. But what I will say, even if it's not fat friends, where's your dad when you need him? Because he was there combing your hair. Where's your dad when you need him? Now, dad, get off your backside and go and get your son and sort him out, because this is bad, because this guy was so wavy, and to see him go out like this, it actually winds me up. It actually hurts to see him just look like a bum, like, because this guy was so wavy. He was meant to be the next big thing, like, and even if he got beat by Medina, but he was still meant to, even if the career might be coming to a close, because some guys, they peak early and they burn their candle fast. But in that retirement era, you're still meant to have that waviness about you. Like, you can't even, no one is even going to invite you to shows to be a guest in the crowd where, when they do the main event and they pan to all the stars and you're that guy and you do that and everyone's like, yeah, man, that's AB. No, you can't even do that no more, because it's just like, do you know what it reminds me of? Have you ever watched that film, The 5 Heartbeats?
Yeah.
You know, the one who, was on the stuff. I can't say the word, but and then it was sad, and he was the best. He was the best singer out of all of them. It reminds me of that. It literally reminds me of that.
I mean, look, here's the thing, right? I don't like to see anyone in that state. Look, mental health and obviously issues and depression and alcoholism, all that stuff, it's bad, yeah. But I have a hard time feeling too sorry for him, because this is the same guy that was doing nonsense like ripping up $1 and $20 bills, flushing down the toilet, like if there weren't people out on the street that could have used that money. If you don't, oh, I don't take ones. Okay, well, give your ones to someone on the street that maybe needs a meal. If you got 20 of them, that would have, or maybe that could have got them a room at a shelter for the night. So you doing that, like you're out there terrorizing Uber drivers, trying to make honest living of themselves, and out there causing ruckus and filming it for your entertainment. Things like that. It's like I can't really look at what's happening to him and feel sorry for him. Outside of just maybe on a human level, there's obviously something wrong with him, but at this point in time, it's not even. I don't even think a friend can't help him. Like, a friend can't help him. His dad can't help him. He needs. I reckon, if we're going to be totally honest, he needs like psychiatric evaluation. He needs to probably be in some kind of maybe not sort of a mental health home, but he needs to be in a recovery home. He needs to be somewhere where he's monitored, like where his system gets flushed. Like he maybe's got to do a full detox, because I'd hazard a guess it's not just alcohol that is substances he's on. He's probably on some hard substances as well. So at that point, he's got to get himself clean, and maybe he's got to be checked into an asylum, or a rehabilitation center or something like that. So that's my sort of opinions on it. It's not nice to see, but you know what they say, and everyone talks about karma, and like that energy that you put out, and it always will come back to you, tenfold. So if you put out good energy, you usually get back great energy. You put out bad energy, you usually get back shit. Well, this is his shit right about now. And while, like I said, on a human level, I can have some sympathy / empathy for what it looks like, but ultimately I'm almost like, you did it to yourself. I don't feel bad for you. Like, if you want to be a screw up, if you want to not take your career, your life seriously, it shouldn't be on other people to now have to carry that burden. Like, but then I don't want to say the next part, because it's gonna sound too bad. But yeah, like, if someone does decide to help him, or they can help him, then please do. Again, on a human level. But outside of that, like, good that you can't even afford to buy a Uber when you was about billions. Turned down 40 million Rock Nation, told Jay-Z and them to SMD. Okay, well, now I bet you would now for that. I mean, I'm just saying, I guarantee, crazy situations happen when you're desperate. Well, if you can't even afford an Uber, I mean, imagine, right? Remember Ade's got his thing. What was it? The £38.13 or whatever, and he has the plaque from the the money that he had in his account. 38.44. Yeah. So, right. So imagine, I would hazard a guess that maybe AB ain't even got that. The stipend's done, because Al Heyman ain't paying him his stipends no more, probably because he ain't got no money left after he whisked off all of Floyd's money. So yeah, they're all of them are screwed. Like, but I definitely wouldn't be asking someone, another habitual screw up like Javonte Davis, to go talk to him, because that's just going to probably make him even worse. But outside of that, yeah, I mean, look, if Ryan Garcia is being honest and genuine, and he wants to try and help him in some way or fashion, then cool. I'll give Ryan some grace and some points for that. But outside of that, yeah, I feel like the whole thing's performative, and yeah, it is what you get what you deserve, and I think he deserves it personally.
Yeah, it's sad really, because I remember when he was in the supermarket and he was like, "Ha! I don't need no change, bruh," and he was doing all that. But as my Uncle Raymond says, a fool and his money will soon be parted, and that's unfortunately what's happened. And now you're seeing him. It wouldn't surprise if he would do something strange for a bit of change, because I see him backing it up on Dean the Great in a video. It was looking real sad, and he's going out bad. It's just so unfortunate though, because he was really wavy.
Yeah. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're gonna call it for the night. Dan, you want any last words? And now, especially that we have established that You know, you will be on job at all times in your commentary in future. We're going to bring it back to the original, sir. We're going to bring it full circle.
Oh my god! No, thank you everyone for tuning in. Get in the comment section. Hit the comment section and write some stuff. Let us know your feedback on the show. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the hype button for base because I can't get hyped right now until I get monetized. But yeah, all that good stuff. Share out to everybody on the various social media platforms and all that. And let us all. And also, any other topics you want us to do in the next coming weeks, next week or whatever, let myself or base know, and we will bring them up just like today.
Oh, actually, you've got to give your prediction on Dubois and Wardley. And I think you might have given it on Monday Night Smoke, but this is obviously B&D, so...
Yeah, no, I gave it on Monday night. But yes, I'm going with Fabio Wardley inside the distance because when it gets into a dogfight, I just feel that Fabio is willing to take it to a place that not many men are able to go. I don't think anyone in the heavyweight division is willing to go to that place if it gets into that dog situation of biting faces and cheeks. And I definitely don't think Daniel does. And I don't think there's a heart problem with Daniel. It's more of a mind over matter. It's a mental issue. And I just think mentally, Fabio is a very intelligent guy. And I just think if he brings it into the dog pound, that Daniel will succumb to the power. But Fabio could end up taking his first mandatory 8 count of his career because Daniel does hit very hard himself.
Well, let me just caveat the point you made about Daniel. You don't think it's heart, it's mental. I agree on that sense, but I want to clean it up because I feel like some people don't necessarily understand what that means. Daniel, if he has success in the fight, regardless of when the success is, but if he can feel like he's had success, if he can feel like the shots are landing, he can get a shot off or he has an opportunity, he will grit through and grind through anything and stay engaged. When you press him and you force him to basically have to think outside of his rigid structures, or he's not having success, he's trying to land a punch, he can't land a punch, he's just getting hit, and normally behind the jab, and he can't affect the fight the way that he thinks to. At that point, I feel is when he decides. It's not like he's like, I don't want to I don't want to fight, I want to quit. I just think it's a case of his brain can't compute not being able to have success and he doesn't know what to do. And he goes into, it's almost like a panic mode. And then he needs someone to be able to refocus him back. But sometimes it's maybe doesn't happen quick enough, or he's trying to find a way where he can slow things down to reevaluate. And that might be taking the knee or something like that. But then by the time he's able to kind of compute what's going on, either it's over with or he's just not able. He doesn't like when he's not able to have success. So he may look for a way out of it if he's not having success. But I don't think that would be an issue against Wardley, because regardless of how the fight plays out, he will have success. He will land on Fabio Wardley. He will hit the target. And if the fights with Jarrell Miller and Hrgovic and Anthony Joshua is anything to go by, as long as he has success in those fights and he feels like he can touch you and he can land, he will be in there and he will grit it out with you. That's sort of my opinion on it. When it comes to the actual prediction, obviously basis picks will be out either Thursday or Friday this week, so you guys can tune in for that. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. Danny and myself, as soon as the show gets a little bit bigger, we're definitely going to take it to the studio. We're going to go back into studio settings because there's nothing like being live, interacting with each other, in person. So we will definitely sort of get that worked on. But appreciate you all. And we will be back next week for another episode. But until then, enjoy the rest of your night. Have a great week. Out.
Chat stats, pop jabs, reach, who's king? Southpaw switch, lead hook, chin ping. Scorecards, rematch, who got rubbed fast? All on the B&D Podcast. It's the B&D Podcast. Big clash, rounds, belts, big gas, lock it. The B&D Podcast. It's the B&D Podcast. Big clash, rounds, belts, big gas, lock it. The B&D Podcast.